Hello everybody, and yes, I still believe this is the bottom, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you 5 charts on some kind of overextended levels, how we smacked into support, RSI divergence, MACD momentum divergence, and a nice line at the very end. And I'm going to show you how all of this fit, at least my agenda, this being the bottom. So we're going to start with overextended levels, and this is a big thing over here. When prices go below or above certain moving averages, we call them overextended, or to one side or other side. And right now we are on the weekly time frame. We are extended really to the downside. So you'll see here this zero line down here on this TLI overextend indicator down here. You'll see that we are here from the zero line, we are extended towards the downside. So we are pushing towards the downside. Now we are not on these levels down here, and as you'll notice, since 2017 these levels only happened 4 times. Last time this kind of level happened was down here at the big dump after the bull run. Kind of took a break. That was the big dump down here. But right now we are on some very extended levels that do not happen that often. You can see down here these very extended levels, even down here when we are just about to break the downside, they do not happen that very often. These levels do not happen that very often, and every time they do happen, we hit some kind of either some kind of button for a local button for some kind of sideways movement, or we bounce towards the upside eventually, right? So right now we are hitting these very overextended levels on the weekly time frame. And even though I did believe that we are maybe this week gonna pump towards the upside, maybe we're just gonna wait until next week and then pump towards the upside. But needless to say, this is some very overextended levels to the downside, and anytime you get some kind of overextended levels, you need either to take a little bit break or pump to the upside. So you'll see here on the 10 moving average right now that we are extending a little bit towards downside. So what I think has to happen, either we go sideways up here until this 10 moving average comes to us, or we bounce up to the 10 moving average a little bit and then continue downwards or continue towards the upside. Doesn't matter. What I'm trying to explain to you right now, that I think this is some kind of bottom, some kind of local bottom, very important. The next chart I'm going to show you is that we smacked into support at weekly 50 moving average and 200 moving average on daily. So this is the weekly chart up here, and what you're going to see here, this is the 50 moving average on the weekly time frame. And you see here that we smacked into the line. Okay, so we didn't go like slowly down, just bleeding. Oftentimes you go a little bit down, a little bit up, a little bit down, but no, we went down and smacked into it over here. So what we are trying to do right now is just kind of trying to find some kind of stabilize the price around this 50 moving average. You never break, you never go big moves and then go into some kind of support levels. Let's see, this is some kind of support level down here, and you never go like into some kind of big move and then smack down on very important support level and then break it on the same move. You don't do that. I don't know. Price never does that. It's really hard for price to go from very high levels above the important support and then just break it on the first move. Oftentimes what you get is some kind of smack, then you kind of hug it, and then you break it eventually at a later point over here. We kind of did wait 1 week up here, just sideways motion, but I don't think it's right time still to break. So this big move, smacking down into the moving average is not actually something that I think that this is gonna happen very fast. So I think we need some kind of move towards the upside, something like that, before we actually if we're gonna continue to the downside, continue towards the downside. So I do think this is this on the weekly time frame. Now on the daily time frame, you'll see that we did hit the 200 moving average. So we are holding 200 moving average as a support down here, which is also very strong support. Now this does goes sideways, dump sideways. So now technically you could say we could dump, but this is already, as you'll see on the other indicators, that we are already at some kind of bottom down here, and it is really hard to break this level on the downside. So I still think this last zigzag move on the downside down here, that it is some kind of bottom. So we're gonna look at that. Next thing is RSI divergence on the daily and the weekly. I'm gonna show you what I'm looking at over here right now. This is the RSI indicator down here. So previously, once we went up here, we create these highs. This is high, this is some kind of lower high, so the price goes something like this up here, and you'll see that RSI in between these two tops goes towards the upside. This is what we call bearish hidden divergence, and oftentimes you get this move towards the downside. So this move towards the downside was kind of expected, but look what happened down here right now. When we made this move to the downside, we made it below the previous low down here. So what we have right now is just a regular divergence on the daily time frame up here. Now, of course, if this continues going towards downside, there will be no divergence, but right now this divergence is so massive on the daily time frame at so very low levels that we are assuming that this has to, you know, go a little bit towards the upside or continue sideways before it actually dumps. So I'm still on the bottom, you know, on the bottom trend right now, and I still think this is bottom. There is divergence, you know. We are not only that, we might even be creating a pattern here. I'll tell you about the pattern, but this divergence is really nice, and I think it just might play it out. Now, the important thing to notice is that RSI is a laggy indicator, so we do not know actually about divergence after it's played out. So we have to wait, you know, until it plays out to know whether this is gonna be legit divergence or not. But it already right now looks like it's just might gonna be. Now, these three candles over here, it's what we call morning doji star. So morning doji and this big candle towards the upside, these are reversal patterns. So we had this, so we was hoping this is just going to continue towards the upside. We had a big dump towards downside because of the you know, hidden bearish divergence, and right now we are hoping, you know, to get another one of these morning doji star patterns up here. Will it actually happen or not? Depends. So it's gonna be interesting to see whether we're gonna have the big pump tomorrow, but I still think this is bottom if you just look on the RSI. Now on the weekly time frame, there is a huge RSI there's a huge bullish hidden bullish divergence. So the price is going towards the upside, the RSI is going towards the upside, downside. Now this is, of course, again, RSI is a laggy indicator, so this is not confirmed, and by the time it gets up here and it is confirmed, it's too late. So we gotta assume some stuff, you know, and we gotta assume that this might just hold. Now we still need to fall below these levels down here, 42 levels, to create that divergence, because any kind of level above this level up here is still gonna create the divergence. The only way to, you know, correct the divergence is fall below 42 levels down here, and I don't think right now that we are capable of doing that. Now, you know, in the next couple of weeks we're gonna see that, you know, if that's the case, if we can actually fall down there. But right now it looks like after this smack that we need to go a little bit towards the upside, and if you go towards the upside, that just might create this you know, very nice push towards the upside. So I'm looking definitely for a push towards the upside right now. I still think this is some kind of bottom. So you can see here also on the weekly RSI that we have some kind of divergence down there. MACD momentum, this is a big thing over here. What you're gonna see here is that the price is, you know, going towards downside all the way, but the MACD, this momentum down here, these waves, they are going towards the upside. What does that tell us? Well, that is telling us right now that the price, while it's pushing on the downside, doesn't have that much power, so it's losing power while it's pushing towards downside. So right now we went really fast towards certain, you know, moving averages, certain supports. We hit those supports, and we hit those supports while the momentum was actually you know, dying out. So with the dying out momentum, the RSI divergences, the overextended levels, all taken into account, and at the end this very nice line up here. Now this line can actually be, you know, drawn a little bit differently. Over here it looks like we are just testing the line, but it really doesn't matter. We can do something like this up here, and then next week just come right back up, or this, you know, maybe it's gonna pull up during the week and it's gonna close above the line. Really doesn't matter. This move up here might seem like some kind of retest on this line up here. So as long as we don't you know, break this line, close below this line, and, you know, get secondary candle next line below the line, it's all good. So technically, yes guys, I am still on the bottom train. I still think this is the bottom. I still think this needs to, you know, pump towards the upside. Let me just do it like this up here. I still this needs to pump towards the upside. And even though this last dump down here, it was some kind of 8% dump if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was down almost 8-9% dump. I remember it's very good because everybody was looking. Even this dump on the downside, we had to go up first. We had to go up first before dumping. Okay, we had to go up before dumping, and this dump did not actually go, you know, 8% down here. It just went a little bit towards downside. How much did it go from the bottom down here? Only like 1%. Okay, 1%. So the dump seemed big. It got everybody feared, you know, big fear, you know, everybody, you know, starts selling and stuff like that. But the dump was not that severe, because over here we are already at these kind of levels. We are already up down here. We are already calling some kind of bottom down here. Then we went a little bit up, then we crashed down just below the support up here. So we are still below support down here, but I still think that this over here, it is some kind of local bottom. That's very important thing to notice. I think this is a local bottom and not bottom on, you know, bottom on everything. But I think we need a nice move towards the upside. I think we need a nice move to the upside, at least some kind of 54 levels. Previously I said around 54 levels. I still think it's around there. Don't make me pull up the charts, but I think it's like 20 moving average, 10 moving average up here. Yeah, something like 54 levels up here would be nice, getting up to these levels. And then we're gonna test some kind of supports up, sorry, some kind of resistance up here, and then we'll see if we can actually break them and go you know, go higher towards the upside. But yeah, guys, I still think we at some kind of bottom, even though with this week breaking below the 200 moving average right now. So yesterday we broke below 200 moving average. We are still below 200 moving average with this doji down here, but you know, I'm still on the bottom trend. I still think this can recover very nicely. And you know, if it of course goes to the downside, apologizes, you know, technical analysis is not 100%. You know, something can happen. I might have missed something. Maybe I'm even biased towards the upside, but I don't think so. I think that, you know, I got pretty decently figured out, and I think we're gonna bounce. I think we're gonna bounce up here. I think we're gonna bounce nicely. You know, that's that. If you don't bounce, you know, nothing changed. I think we're gonna bounce. You know what? It is very bearish. It is very bearish. Everybody's spreading FUD. Everybody's talking about 42Ks, 38K, 9K, 38K. I'm not quite sure if you're gonna get those levels. I think we are at the bottom, but you know, we'll see, we'll see. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Check out my new channel, Tech Analysis. If you want to learn technical analysis, also I need 1,000 subs, so you know, any kind of help is appreciated. Thanks for watching. See you around. Bye bye.